Tuesday. If you guys out there are pet owners, we have rabbits, dog, cat, chickens. Yeah, so my cat, I roll over this morning, and the first thing I see is her face right there looking at me. She's like sitting there staring at me. I'm not sure if it's cute or if I should be scared. But so I would love to know what kind of pets you guys have, and what kind of crazy things they do in your life. All right, so let's dive in. Today, we are going to talk about the 5 steps to creating a debt elimination strategy. Now, I know this can be an overwhelming task for some people, so I want to break it down a little bit. And then, of course, as always, if you need more information, you need help, pop into our group, ask questions. We'll get you the help that you need. That's what I'm here for. All right, so starting with the first step to getting out of debt is creating a strategy. First step is going to be getting organized. Because you cannot, in my opinion, accomplish anything if you're haphazardly trying to do things, throwing things here, throwing things there, and you don't have a plan and organization. So the first step to getting organized is to make sure you have all of your debts listed out, bring them all together, write them out. Who do you owe money to? What interest rate you're paying them, what your minimum payments are, what your balance is. Put it all in one place so that you can look at it. Because once you have that, and sometimes this is the hardest and scariest task, because you don't want to sit down, you don't want to come face to face with where you're at. And if you're in a lot of debt, this is even more important to do. You want to get a good feeling for where you're at. Because sometimes I found with some of my clients that once they've done that, they're like, okay, it's really not as bad as I thought. So you want to get a clear picture of that, okay? The second thing you want to do is create the all-powerful budget. And I know our cash flow plan or money plan, whatever you want to call it, whatever makes you feel better about having one, you want to make sure that you have a plan. So, and with a budget, the purpose of a budget is to tell your money where to go before you even have it. As soon as it hits your account, it has a plan, it has a job, it has a purpose. All right. So we're going to make sure that we have the budget. Now, when you are creating your budget, you want to make sure that you list all those debts in your budget and you assign it that minimum payment. And you're like, wait a minute, Linda, I'm trying to get out of debt, not stay in it forever. I got you. What you're going to do is you're going to put all of your debts in there for your minimum payment. And then any money that you have left over, any money that you can pull, we're going to throw at the first debt. We're going to add it back into that first debt. And what do I mean by first debt? Well, we need to look at our whole debt scenario, that first step one. We look at that list. We're going to decide what strategies we're going to use, whether it's going to be a debt snowball, a debt avalanche, or a combination. And if you're not familiar, a debt, in a nutshell, a debt avalanche is when you pay off your debt starting with the highest interest rate. And a debt snowball is where you pay off your debt starting with the smallest debt. And they both have their place. Because one thing that I've learned in all of my years and experience of helping people with their finances is that no one size fits all. There's no one right answer for every single person out there. And because sometimes, and most of the time, when we're creating that plan of what order to pay our debt off, it's a combination of both. All right. Because getting out there to those smaller debts gives us leverage. But getting rid of the debts with a large interest rate saves us the most money. So it's a combination of the two. All right. So step 3 is consider what I call a self-consolidation. So I am not a big fan of going to the bank, asking them for a consolidation loan, consolidating all your debts for various reasons. We'll get into another video. But there are times where what I consider a self-consolidation is worth its weight in gold. If you're paying, high interest rate on credit cards, if your credit is good enough, we can roll it over into a lower interest or a, sometimes, a transfer balance where you get 0 interest for 6 months, and that can save us and give us the time to get some leverage. And in that case, that will also affect how our debt strategy plays out. So we've got getting organized, budgeting, consider self-consolidation. If it's an option, it's not an option for everyone, and it's not a good idea for everyone. And then 4 is to reduce spending. Okay, this is a fun one, right? So we're going to do what I call a financial audit. We're going to go through all of our expenditures. We're going to go through our budget. You may have already started doing this when you created your budget. And just saying, what can I reduce in my spending? What can I cut back on? And remember, these decisions are not forever. These are temporary decisions that we're using to get to us a certain goal, right? So we're going to look at the things that we can reduce. And of course, And that's number 4. And number 5, of course, what can we do to bring more income in? Because that's the 2 things that's going to give you power in your debt elimination strategy, is cutting back how much you're spending and bringing in more income. Now, when I say bringing in more income, that can look many different ways for many different people. It can be selling things that you have in your home that you don't use, love, whatever. You can Marie Kondo the heck out of it, right? It can be a part-time job. It can be overtime at your current job. It can be a side hustle. It can be starting your own business. There's lots of ways to bring in that extra income, and every dollar counts. Don't ever let that fool you. All right. So that, in a nutshell, for today is my 5 steps to creating a debt elimination strategy. Now, as I said in the beginning, I know this can be very overwhelming. And if you need help creating a debt elimination strategy, that's my job. I'm here to help. Pop in my group, which is Healthy, Wealthy, Wise, a faith-based journey to do more, give more, and serve more. Ask your questions. Set a time to talk with me. Whatever it is you need, we'll be there to support you. I want you to live the life that God created you to live. Not one of fear, shame, guilt, or stress around money, but one of freedom. All right, guys? Let's see what you guys are saying today. All right. Where you at? All right. Cats, ducks, chickens, goats, mini pig. Oh, mini pigs. My daughter probably loved to get her hands on one of those. And a faithful chief of security dog here. Yes, you always got to love those dogs. And I don't know why Facebook sometimes gives me a Facebook user and sometimes it gives me a name. But we love our furry friends and our feathered friends. All right, guys. So if you have questions, you need help, pop on the group. Let's get those moving. Let's make 2022 the year of transformation for you and your family, and create a legacy that is going to honor God and help you create the life that you want to live. All right, guys. I will see you.